Hello and welcome to Mayday Media. We're pointing out a few articles on the internet, and I've got a few pretty good ones here for you today. This one here, Microsoft and OpenAI plan to build a $100 billion supercomputer to power artificial intelligence. $100 billion. I mean, the computer you could build with $10 billion, I believe, are called quantum computers. You know what I mean? So, $100 billion. Boy, I mean, talk about take over planet Earth, and that's exactly what that's gonna do. 100 billion. I don't know. Maybe that's in 10 years from now. Money. I don't know. We're gonna delve into it. Polish PM warns we are in a pre-war era as Putin's missiles fire close to border. Yeah, he's pumping up on Ukraine. I believe did he shoot down some F-16s, or says he's going to? I can't remember. U.S. sends more bombs and warplanes to Israel while admitting pain caused by the Gaza war. Yeah, there is some pain over there in the old Gaza war, but it's not the Israelis. They're not the ones that really need the warplanes and the bombs. But we'll get into this little story too. But before we do, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, help me out a little bit here. Um, we'll start here. Microsoft and OpenAI are planning an unprecedented supercomputer that specialized server chips that could cost up to $100 billion. The US-based supercomputer known as Stargate would be the centerpiece of a five-phase plan focused on a series of supercomputer installations the companies plan to build in the next 6 years. Stargate, which would be phase 5 of the plan, could launch as soon as 2028. People involved in the proposal told the information. Executives of both companies have already drawn up plans for the data center project, which would power OpenAI's artificial intelligence, according to the outlet. A spokesperson from Microsoft declined to comment directly on the report, but highlighted the company's demonstrated ability to build pioneering AI infrastructure. Well, I think they took somebody else's work, but that's kind of the way Microsoft operates. We are always planning for the next generation of infrastructure innovations needed to continue pushing the frontier of AI capability, said a representative of the company. OpenAI did not admittedly respond to a request for comment from the BI. Microsoft, which has already committed more than $13 billion to OpenAI, would likely provide funding for Stargate. Per the report, OpenAI currently uses Microsoft data centers to power its generative AI systems, ChatGPT, in exchange for Microsoft having exclusive rights to resell OpenAI's technology to its own customers. Microsoft insiders told Business Insider earlier this month that the company's strategy has increasingly focused on its work with OpenAI, leading some to worry that Microsoft is essentially becoming an IT department for the startup. The supercomputer could be 100 times more expensive than the largest data centers currently in operation. The project signals a massive amount of money likely to be poured into the industry as artificial intelligence continues to evolve in the coming years. Stargate also has the potential to far exceed the computing power currently supplied by Microsoft to OpenAI from its data centers around the country, but would require at least several gigawatts of power to do so. Several gigawatts. The information reported. What, at 1.21 gigawatts? Wasn't that one? Microsoft involvement in the project, however, hinges on OpenAI fulfilling its promise to boost its AI capabilities, a source told the outlet. The quest to obtain the necessary server chips in its primary factory, driving Stargate's hefty price tag. Finding enough energy sources to power the project could also pose a challenge, yeah. And two companies have talked about possibly using alternative power sources like nuclear energy. Well, how are they calling that alternative? Uh, wouldn't that be what they call solar and wind power? Why ain't they going to use alternative nuclear? I mean, really, the demand for AI chips has reached a fever pitch, allowing a select few companies, primarily Nvidia, to control the market. The chip dilemma is just one of several details that still need to be ironed out with regard to Stargate. How to put more GPUs into a single rack than it currently does in order to boost the chip's performance. The company also needs to find ways to prevent the chip from overheating, according to the report. It's not clear where Stargate would be located or whether it would be built in just one data center or several nearby centers. The information report is several. So it's more power than a data center, which probably going to mean it's going to use just as much water. So we probably got to put it someplace near a water source, unless they somehow can rerun the water through it after cooling it, which would be the best option. But that's scary, guys. Microsoft, $100 billion of supercomputer, all the shit that I read to you. That is scary. That is take over planet Earth and run your life completely. Some 1984 stuff on steroids. Polish PM warns we are in pre-war era. Now listen to what this guy tries to say to his people. People were left without electricity. Kamikaze drones, Ukraine deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure. People were left without electricity in the largest barrage of the country's already damaged power infrastructure. Power stations were hit in them, the words there, both in the direction of NATO and EU state Poland. Polish PM Donald Tusk said in an interview in Newsweek, "We have not had a situation like this since '45. I know it sounds devastating, especially to people of the younger generation, but we have to mentally get used to the new era. We are in a pre-war era. I don't exaggerate." This is what he's telling his young people. We have to mentally get used to a new era. We are in a pre-war era. I don't exaggerate. Okay. I mean, we're kind of always in some kind of a pre-war era. The Romanian Ministry of Defense said that the farm is located near or separate two countries, Ukraine's western edge. Oh, that's where some of the missile came down. I skipped some places here. Anyway, this is another sign because, Poland and Russia, I don't think, have very good standing. But I think that's this Poland, Germany, I think that's where it's going to start. I think there's going to be a small yield over somewhere around there. And that's what's really going to start it. But telling his people that we are in a pre-war era and they've got to get used to it, that's pretty wild. You don't hear that very often. I just thought that was kind of intriguing. And here we go. U.S. sends more bombs and warplanes to Israel. The U.S. in recent days authorized the transfer of billions of dollars worth of bombs and fighter jets to Israel. Sources familiar with the effort told Reuters on Friday. Even as publicly expressed concerns about the anticipated Israeli military offensive in the Rafah and the mounting casualty toll in Gaza, the new arms package included more than 1,800 Mk-84 2,000-pound bombs and 500 82s 500-pound bombs, said the source. Biden on Friday acknowledged the pain being felt by many Arab Americans over the war in Gaza. Still, he vows to continue to support for Israel despite the increase in the public rift with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The White House declined to comment on the weapons transfer, of course. Washington gives $3.8 billion in annual military assistance to Israel, its longtime ally. The United States has been rushing air defense and munitions to Israel, but some Democrats and Arab American groups have criticized the Biden administration's continued support for Israel, which they say provides it with a sense of impunity. Yeah, they can use Israel kind of as a proxy, and Israel uses us as a proxy, I guess, in certain ways. But this is just ridiculous. I mean, look at all the money we're spending on all this shit. Plus, we're giving all this money to immigrants. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling the pinch. Um, it's just kind of getting ridiculous, and I'm wanting to move and get to just. I guess I have to go to an Asian country. I don't know what to do. Fuck, really. I don't know. You tell me, man. Anyway, like, subscribe, toodaloo. Goodbye.